everybody, and welcome to Movie Grind Up One-on-One, where I'm going to fly solo and review two DVDs. The first DVD I'm going to review today is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, the director's cut. Now, I don't share, a lot of the things that other people do about remakes. I kind of like remakes if they're done right. Rob Zombie, for the most part, has been doing these remakes good. The first Halloween was really good. I like that a lot. This one I don't like as much. The one thing that was intriguing was the fact that he was going to show people why Michael Myers continues to kill. What's the reason behind it? And that turned a lot of people off, but I was kind of intrigued by it, and I wanted it. That was one of the reasons I wanted to see it so bad. Basically, Michael Myers, the ghost of Michael Myers' mom, would come back and tell him, bring the family back together. And he wanted, it kind of made sense, he wanted to be back with his mother. That's what he knows when, he's been locked up since he was a kid. So it made sense. Although there was a few things that bothered me. And I usually don't nag or even bother with little mistakes made in movies. I see them sometimes and I forget about them 5 minutes later, but the ones in this movie were just so obvious. Again, this movie is supposed to take place 2 years after the original, and the first one was in 1978, so this would be 1980. And I love Malcolm McDowell. I think he's a great actor. I thought he was good in this movie, but in the commentary on this DVD, Rob Zombie mentioned that they only had Malcolm McDowell for maybe a day or two, and it shows because all these mistakes I'm about to tell you happen, with having to do with Malcolm McDowell. Right when Malcolm McDowell makes his first appearance in the movie, he's walking through a lobby to go talk to some press about his book release he's going to have, and he pulls out a flip phone, and he starts talking on the flip phone. Well, 1980 there wasn't flip phones. I know it's a little thing, but it just bothered me. I don't know why. Like I said, I usually don't let these things bother me, but they did. Later in the movie, Malcolm McDowell is sitting in his hotel room watching television, watching a show that he was on, a talk show that he was on that they previously recorded earlier that day, and he was watching it. The funny thing is that the television in the hotel room is a plasma flat screen. Again, 1980, there wasn't any plasma flat screens. On that talk show that he was watching, he was on there with Weird Al, which is, nothing big because Weird Al was big in the 80s, and I don't know if he was around 1980, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. The thing was, also in the commentary, Rob Zombie talked about how they called Weird Al up that day and brought him in, and they kind of winged it. They didn't really have any dialogue written down, and it showed because when Dr. Loomis was talking about his book, and he was talking about Michael Myers, and the host and Weird Al were kind of, messing with him about it. They weren't taking him seriously. They were kind of joking about it. And Weird Al made a comment. Dr. Loomis was talking. Weird Al interrupted him and said, "Oh, who are you talking about now? Mike Myers from the Austin Powers movies or what?" Again, 1980, Austin Powers wasn't around. That was a big one for me. It was just little mistakes, and like I said, I usually don't let those bother me, but they just bother me for whatever reason. They bother me in this movie. With Malcolm McDowell, like I said, he's a great actor, and I thought he was good in this movie, although I don't like what they did with the Dr. Loomis character. It rubbed me the wrong way, I don't know if it's the John Carpenter Halloween fan in me or what, but I didn't like the way they dealt with that character. Rob Zombie did his thing in this movie, and it really wasn't a unique look. Michael Myers was crazy in this film. Rob Zombie wanted him to be more human. And he was. I mean, the way he stabbed people and grunted as he was stabbing them, just grunting and grunting. Oh, I mean, it was a lot of the death scenes were brutal in this movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give this film 2 out of 5. I know that's a pretty low rating. I did enjoy it, but like I said, the mistakes, I don't know why, but they bothered me. And you know what they did with the Dr. Loomis character, I didn't like too much. So I'm gonna have to give this a 2 out of 5. The next film I'm gonna review today is The Hurt Locker. Now, I didn't really hear much about this film until I seen it on the Critics' Choice Awards. It won for Best Picture and for Best Director. Like I said, I never heard of this film, and I couldn't believe it won these awards, and I never heard of it, so I went and checked it out. And guys, let me tell you, I love this film. There's a great cast in this film. It was shot in a very documentary style. I loved it. It was really grimy looking. One person who surprised me in this film was an actor by the name of Brian Grady. He played the typical, you know, young soldier who's nervous, and you know, there's one in every war movie, but he played it so well. I mean, it felt so real. I mean, his reactions, just he didn't, not even when he talked, just his reactions and the way he moved and his facial expression, he sold it so well. He did a great job in this film, man. I give him, you know, thumbs up for that. The thing I liked about this movie so much was the fact that it made you feel like you were in Iraq with them. I mean, it made you feel like you were there with them, and you were really intrigued with the characters. There's a part at the end, all of a sudden, it takes you out of Iraq, and it shows one of the characters back in the States where he's with his wife and kid in a grocery store. Now, here's a guy that could, you know, defuse 20 bombs in 5 minutes, but when he goes to the grocery store and his wife asks him to get cereal, he can't choose. You know, he sees this huge aisle full of different cereals, and he doesn't know which one to pick, and he's kind of confused, and he's kind of out of place, and it gives you a real unique look to the way, you know, these soldiers, when they come back from war, how difficult it is for them to go from being over there and dealing with everything they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and coming back and, you know, just to be normal again. It's not an easy transition, and this movie really shows that. Well, my rating for this, man, I don't think it's any surprise. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5, guys. Check this movie out. It's a really good movie, man. Hey guys, one thing I wanted to mention was a friend of mine. He's on YouTube. His name on YouTube is JPenny18. He sent me this movie, Happy Deathday. There's a couple of things that I had to cut out of our other show, of our movie grind-up show, that I talked about this film. Jacqueline Murray, who played the lead actress in this film, she did a great job. Definitely a scream queen, guys. And, you know, being as professional as I can be, she's not bad to look at, too. Right now, he's in the middle of filming a new film called Silent Eyes. Kind of reminds me of Halloween 2, the original, where it's another slasher film that takes place in a hospital. But he's going to keep me posted on that, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I know more information about it. Our next movie grind-up show will be February 11th, so check it out. See you around, guys. Stand in the middle, Mitchell. Oh my God, we just cut the breaker. It fucking, oh my God.
Is that bad? Is that bad?
It took too much power.
It did?
Unplug them.